Old Redditors, what's a must-know story of Reddit new users should know? There was that fun time we all hacked the Sears website like 12 years ago and it never comes up in these threads. Basically, Fixler discovered you could visit a Sears webpage with a URL such as http://sears.com/outdoors/outdoor appliances/chainsaws. And editor to say, sears.com/cannibal supplies/quick-wastical babies, and the web address change would appear that way inside the page. So we all started doing it, screenshotting it, sharing it, and giggling. Then someone noticed the programming on the website was so bad that what we were doing changed the code for everyone. So then Reddit did it a lot more and then Sears shut down their site. More info on the saga here. If you're hiking deep in the woods and come across a staircase, just ignore it and keep your distance. The one that always stuck with me is the guy who peed on a pregnancy test as a joke, and it came out positive, so he posted the picture too, %r/funny or something similar. Amongst all the tomfoolery in the comments, a med student pipes up saying that op should go see their doctor immediately. Turns out that the hormone that pregnancy tests detect, when produced by males, is a symptom of testicular cancer. The guy ended up catching it super early because of the thread and getting it removed before it became a problem. Isn't this really useful? Or is it too niche? The story of Champ the goat. Originally told by u/stoic smile about a goat who his company would rent out to eat shrubs and do landscaping. I used to work on a forestry and conservation crew. We tried to offer this service with the goat that for some reason hung out in the field next to our shop, which I guess we owned, maybe? Anyway, the goat's name was Champ, and I wouldn't be surprised if we accidentally stole Champ at one point, because Champ hated to be alone, and if you left him alone, he would find a way through or over any enclosure you left him in and wander around until he found a companion. To Champ, a companion could be a person, a dog, a chicken, a bicycle, a basketball, anything that his little goat mind imagined was a living creature. He especially liked things that seemed to have some kind of life or that made noise. Like generators and sump pumps. So when we rented Champ out to people, we warned them that he needed some kind of company, or he would escape. We often recommended something like a blow-up pool toy or even just an open umbrella. Just something nearby that Champ could imagine was his friend. Inevitably people would underestimate Champ's squirreliness, and assume that their fence/tether/stone wall was sufficient to keep him where they wanted to be, and they would leave him alone. Then we'd have to go find Champ. One time I found him in a scrapyard munching on weeds between rows of crushed cars. One time I found him curled up in the shade in a neighbor's yard with a golden retriever. But I think the best was when he made his way onto an elementary school playground. We of course had a tag on his collar with a phone number to call if he was found, since he went missing so much. And one day, we got a call from a school principal informing us that he had our goat. For those of you who don't know much about goats, they delight in climbing on things. So for Champ, there was no place more attractive than the very top of the metal play structure at this playground. The kids were absolutely smitten with him, and he was absolutely thrilled to have so many friends. And he was ecstatic to be at the top of the play structure too. It wasn't until all the kids went inside after recess that we could get him down. I think it was the best day of his life. Edit, here's the original post. Also I added paragraphs because it did have them originally. My bad. The guy whose very special brother loves this one specific Tonka truck from the 90s. It was a fire and rescue truck and his family finds them on eBay and buys him one every Christmas, and it's the only thing B loves, and Op couldn't find one anywhere and came to Reddit to ask if anyone had one in an attic or old toy box. Everyone was so helpful and the post was just a beautiful internet moment. Oh my god, I remember this. Didn't they end up with a ton of them? I'm not sure, but I read it on my breakfast break at work and came back with tears in my eyes. I remember one user in France found one on French eBay and offered to buy it and send it over. Another user has one that wasn't quite right model. The right one had a silver toe hook on the back and that was very important to the brother, so some other guy who had a metal casting machine offered to make the hooks. And eventually Tonka heard about the post and a rep came in and said the company would search their warehouses for any back stock of the item, and it was so sweet. And then of course some people were like, what if Tonka made up this whole post just to get good publicity? And I was like, shut up you fucking cynics. When a Redditor asked for help because the language on their screen changed to Spanish. And everyone replied to it in Spanish. Then Ops update was hilarious update, so I wake up this morning to about 1,500 replies in my inbox that I cannot read. And then I run them through Google Translator and most of them say stuff like the dog is in my pants and where is the library? Thanks, Reddit. The what's the worst thing someone has said you during sex? Talk dirty to me attempt. Edit, typo. Roses are red, sex talk is hard. I completely forgot about this. It's still one of the funniest things I have ever read period. There was this girl from the Solomon Islands. Used to live in a tiny village or settlement, on a small island there. Used to get around on canoes, and live in primitive little self-made huts. She'd sometimes go to Brisbane, where I think she had studied or visited a while. She just showed all of us what island life was like, removed from modern conveniences of restaurants, supermarkets, cars and stress. I loved seeing her photos and reading about her life there. Does anyone else remember this girl from the Solomon Islands? Man, I'd love to scroll through this. The guy who wanted to leave his wife who posted to r/relationship advice, but was worried about how she'd react. Reddit told him to stop being a pussy, so he told her it was over, then she killed both their kids. For those who want greater detail, Jason Worley found out that his wife had cheated on him with their neighbor. They had been married for years and had 2 children, so initially Jason planned to stay married for the sake of their kids. However, he eventually had his doubts on this position, and sought advice on r/relationship_advice as the now deleted user u/Jason in hell. He asked if he should divorce his wife. For once in a blue moon, the subreddit's typical advice of dump that bitch was actually warranted, and many users expressed that he should proceed with a divorce for his sake and his children's. Jason took this advice to heart, and shortly after the post was made, he requested a divorce from his wife. Days after this divorce request, Jason's ex-to-be Brandy Worley did the unthinkable. She procured a combat knife from Walmart, which she would end up using to murder their 2 children. On the night of the murders, Brandy asked Jason to not sleep in their bedroom and instead sleep on a couch. Jason declined the couch and instead opted to sleep in the house's basement. Once Jason was asleep, Brandy took the knife and murdered their 2 children. Once they were dead, she attempted to kill herself, but was unsuccessful and remains alive to this day. Upon questioning, she revealed that her motive for killing the children was so that Jason couldn't take them away from her. During her trial she was sentenced to serve 120 years in prison, 65 for the murder of her 3 years/old daughter and 55 for the murder of her 7 years/old son. It's not that old, but the story of how Ellen Pao was head of Reddit and lost her job in 2015. That was the time period when Reddit went from mostly free-range community to business-curated social media outlet. A lot of people see the 2014 and the 2016 timeframe as the death of old Reddit. Reddit used to be nuts. You'd see stuff here that you couldn't find anywhere else.
This loser is 100% on food stamps.
It's your boy Soldier Boy in Dubai. Look at that camel behind me though, scratching his neck. Turn up.
Fucking broke-ass bitches are always in the comment section on our TikToks complaining. Why the fuck would I bother actually refurbishing a console when I can just lie? Fuck all of you. DK Oldies has decided to triple our prices. Maybe if you guys actually shut the fuck up and were grateful, this wouldn't be happening right now. Also, I've decided to throw in a free gift. Everyone who watches this video now owes me $100. Join the Homeless Prophet Discord for more news on the next Jet Oil gift.